You'd always edit that.
That?
Like cut that part and kind of just like go with it.
Start with some water. Ready? ASMR.
ASMR. Okay. That's not what we're doing here.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Michael.
And I'm Sam, for whoever that doesn't know me.
They said you weren't moving the
I'm Sam, for whoever doesn't know me.
And this is my sister, and this is our pilot of our podcast. Our podcast name is called The Unbearable Truth. So before we begin, what I like to do is define what we're doing to give it like purpose. And right here, I wrote down the definitions of truth and unbearable. So truth, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is the quality or state of being true. And unbearable, according to Collins Dictionary, is something that is so unpleasant, painful, or upsetting that you feel unbearable to accept it or to deal with it. So we just think this is a perfect time to do this, especially with the state of the world and people becoming more closed in and stuck on their phones and not really knowing how to go about talking to each other. So, we're here just to talk about our truths and to be vulnerable, allow ourselves to be vulnerable and uncomfortable. Originally, we had the idea of, The Uncomfortable Truth, but there's already a podcast called The Uncomfortable Truth. So we went with The Unbearable Truth, which is a little more intense.
Yeah, I liked the sound of that better.
Yeah. How do you feel about talking?
I'm nervous a little bit. It's so weird because before even pressing play or start, you're fine. Like, I was fine. I wasn't even nervous. Yeah. But just that one click, it's like...
Now it's like real, right?
And no one's even watching right now. It's not even like we're live, but...
Yeah.
I'm just a tad bit nervous.
And that's what the whole point is. This is the point, because I'm the one that has been exposing myself to talking, making videos, making content. So I'm a little more comfortable with this, but this is the exact reason why we're doing it, is because it's uncomfortable. And it could be even unbearable. And we as people, we tend to avoid things that make us uncomfortable. And then that's what makes it become unbearable, is it stops us from progressing. And we said this before we started the podcast, that when we don't allow ourselves to confront ourselves and to be real, we stop our progress as people. And, I don't know, there needs to be more putting ourselves in the hot seat and volunteering ourselves to do things that make us uncomfortable, because that's what life's all about, right?
Taking risks.
Learning
and growing. Well, that helps. Yeah. The process of learning and growing.
But when you worked at the chiropractic office, you usually talk to people all the time, though.
Yeah. So I was like, dang, he's putting me in the hot seat already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk to people a lot, but I always say this. Playing on live definitely helped me.
Oh, like when you were streaming?
Mm-hmm.
You used to stream, right? For a little while?
So it definitely helped me open up. I was like so nervous to do it. And like I said before, a lot of people would be like, come on, smile. You look so mad playing. And I'm like, deep inside, I'm like wanting to throw up because I was just so nervous. But it was fun and I learned a lot from it. So I think that definitely helped me grow out of my comfort zone and not be so scared. So
it's kind of like, because my thing is the gym. I'm a personal trainer. So even for me, when I first started, it was something that was really uncomfortable. Like when you go in there, your mind starts to play tricks on you, and you think everyone's looking at you and everyone's watching and people are judging you, and you're not confident with the form or like your routine. Mm-hmm. So then you're like, oh no, people are watching my form and people are talking smack about me.
You have all these thoughts running in your head, like,
yeah,
it's most likely nonsense thoughts.
Like when you then that's like when you keep going, you get comfortable, and then you realize everyone there is not even paying attention to you.
Yeah.
So I
For the
mean,
most part,
that's why it's like
we get into our heads too much, I think.
And you read a lot of self-help books. What are ways that you got out of your head to do things that make you uncomfortable? Because even working at the chiropractic office, answering phones and making phone calls, I remember you were like super anxious about it in the beginning.
Honestly, it's just the doing. I feel like you could read books, you could hear someone telling you so many times to do something, but until you start doing it yourself, that's when the change starts happening. Because it doesn't matter how many times you read it, like if you're not doing the part, nothing's gonna happen.
It's like planning, and then it's like planning for a party that never happens.
Mhm.
You know, like the whole point is the party. It's the thing. You know.
Exactly. Because you could have your mindset in the right direction, but your actions could show otherwise, and that defeats the purpose. So, yeah, I read a lot of self-care books and stuff like that, but what helped me was getting into, because I worked at a dental office, so that
Oh yeah, I
was
remember that. Didn't you
was,
like spill something all over the computers? That's her thing. Is she's
I
a
was very
butterfingers and she's really clumsy.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that was terrible because I did not like talking on the phones or doing insurance and anything like that. But then when I pushed myself into working into the chiropractic office, it definitely pushed me a lot more. I had no choice. And then on top of it, I was definitely front desk, so I had to answer the phone calls and do all that stuff. So that also helped me change. But I personally think the going on live helped me tremendously because that was frightening. That was something I was actually scared of doing.
What about it was scary?
Seeing everyone watch me live. Like there's so many different people looking at you and you're just like sitting there.
Yeah. So like
and then too, I felt like I was gonna be judged or something. So many things could happen live. So
wasn't it you that told me that the fear of judgment stems from being judgmental or something? Did you read me a book like that?
If you're judgmental yourself,
you assume other people are judging you.
Yes. And that's most likely the case because I was judgmental myself. So
me too.
When I would wear something, especially wearing something, and I'd go out and be like, oh my God, they're probably looking at me thinking like, ew, why is she wearing that? And then one day I went out, this was when I was reading the book. One day I went out and I was like, oh, why is she wearing that? And then right away it clicked. It's like, oh shoot, that's so me. I'm judging them. Yeah. Like, of course I'm gonna have those thoughts in my head about other people. So I stopped judging because people who they want to be, why should I judge them?
Do you think
who they want to be?
Like stopping judging people, is that you think it's hard for people to do?
I don't think so. I'm like trying to think how I stop myself from. I feel like you really have to zone in and catch yourself because because if you're not, I don't know how to say it.
Like I kind of get you though, because that's how like I put a lot of time and effort, like for me, and into like learning how to be a positive person, like consistently, because we all have days where it's like a roller coaster, right? Like life itself. So we have obviously like high days and then low days, but our attitude is something that can stay steady or constant in between the high and the low days. And so what I did was I really practiced my like learning positive and negative thoughts, and the pattern, like when it popped up. I mean, like, so for example, like if it was a cloudy day or a rainy day, instead of saying like, oh, it's cloudy, this sucks, or this is depressing, that's like when you think that way, it's already
You try to change your mindset.
Exactly.
Like, it's not necessarily a bad day. It's actually a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Like, I love when it rains. I love when it storms. I love when it gets cloudy, and I don't know, some people think it's eerie, but
Well, it's like
I
it's
love
needed.
that. It's very calming.
It's like how could we appreciate the good days if we never had bad days? You know, like you.
It's very cliche to say, but it's true.
It's true. Like another example is you're very a moody person when you're hungry, right? So how could you appreciate food?
What girl isn't? I'm just
No,
kidding.
yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, or what people in general,
Yeah.
but you know, like you appreciate the food more, or I would hope so, because it stops you from being moody, right? Like today when you came in and you're like, I'm crabby because I was
crabby.
hungry. But you're not crabby no more, right? Because you ate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like appreciating that. I think it's all about appreciation. You think, you know, like it's just like the core of things.
I have a thought in my head.
What?
Because babies do that, toddlers do that, younger kids do that, where they get super crabby when they're hungry. I think that's just natural.
So you're a toddler?
No. That's not what I'm trying to say. Like,
No,
do you get it though?
No, I do. I'm just messing with you. Yeah. But no, yeah, like seeing how they respond to their feelings, or like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like when you're tired, you get moody. I mean, at least I do. I don't know if everyone's like that,
But doesn't that make you appreciate sleep?
Yeah, I guess so.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Never really thought about it that way.
Because what if you never got it? Then what?
Yeah.
Right. Because like that's one thing. Like us as people, right? It's that middle space, that gray area that we get so stuck up on, but we usually always get that thing in some capacity or some way, you know. So that's the thing. What I mean to be grateful for, right? Like if you're a plant, you rely on the rainy days. Mm-hmm. The rain is like your food, kind of, right? Mm-hmm. So we may not like them, but the nature loves them. Animals love them. Like they're appreciating that when it's like opposite for us. That makes sense. See what I'm saying?
I do. No, I do.
But I mean, that's for me. Like I could feel your nervous energy. I could feel how nervous you are.
I'm actually not. It's starting to calm down. I'm not actually that nervous.
Or like your awkwardness, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can be a little awkward.
Yeah.
But I think once I let go of that awkwardness and being nervous and stuff, I start being more myself. I mean, I guess that is myself, right? Because I'm being awkward.
It's all you. You know?
Yeah. I'm not hiding anything. But you will notice once I start getting comfortable, I'm like, yeah. And I'm starting talking, and you know, like how I'm doing right now. I'm just a lot more. I'm starting to get more comfortable.
You're easing into it. Right?
Yeah. But so yes, that is why we are coming on here and wanting to talk, because
it's needed. It's something that's needed. Like what we were talking about is there's like a good grave need for authenticity in the world right now. It's just from my perspective of what I view is people, they cringe at themselves being themselves because they realize it doesn't look like other people. Does that make sense? Let me say that again. People cringe at themselves because them being authentic doesn't look like other people. Right? So your whole like la 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 thing, like other people wouldn't let themselves do that because it's like it's cringy. Like, you know, like that word I think is the biggest block for people being themselves, because like anything that's authentic is cringy, right? Like if you see someone just act completely different than the normal societal standards, they're weird right away.
Yeah, I feel like it depends though, because sometimes, I mean, I could speak for myself because I used to do this, but I used to be a little more extra. It could be whatever type of mood I was in, because I knew people were watching me. So I would have this like act on that. I don't know how to explain it, but I would just act a little more extra. And I remember reading this one book and it explained all of that. And I caught myself and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm actually acting this way because I want other people to like see me. And it was weird. I don't really know how to explain it right now. I could probably explain it later in a different video. But yeah, I don't know where my point.
No, I mean, I get you. Like, that's, in my opinion, that's such a teenager thing, like, to do, is because you're in those stages of figuring yourself out.
Not necessarily, because when I had realized myself doing it, now I see other people doing it. Like, I don't know why, but I I don't want to say that I know other people when I don't really know them, but
That's what you observe.
when I could observe it very easily because I knew that I was like that. So I can catch on to other people being a little more extra for whatever reason. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem
genuine.
Yeah. And I guess I wasn't being genuine myself because I was just trying to portray this other half of me that for what? But yeah, we kind of got off track a little bit.
I mean, there kind of is no track here, you know? Like, we're kind of, for now, we're freestyling. It's going to get to a point eventually, you know, knock on wood, where there's more of a direction because people are chiming in and asking questions, and then we can kind of go
I think
from there.
Sooner or later, we're thinking of going live.
Yeah.
Just to get everyone to
be involved.
Yeah.
Like, right now, it's just a conversation between us two, but I know both of us, we work more when there's something to talk about. Like, that was kind of our rookie mistake, to not have like a topic. The topic was introducing ourselves into talking, but
we're like, okay,
now what?
What are we gonna talk about? Hi.
This is done. No, yeah. But yeah, like, I think the first everything, the first model, the first episode, the first whatever is like.
My idea was wanting it to be raw as possible. Yeah. I just wanted to come on and just say what we need to say and why we wanted to come on here and talk in the first place. I didn't really want a topic.
Because like for example, like, I know what I'm like, why I want to do this, what I want to get out of this. Like, why are you doing this?
Because I want to help people. I want to be able to. That was always my thing. I want to be there for people, listen to people, and be that person that they know that they can come to.
Because you're already that person outside of this, right?
Yeah, I know I'm a good listener. I know that I may not have a lot to say, but that was my thing, though, that I want to be able to help, and especially build this community where
like a safe space, kind of.
Yeah, where people can come to.
And to be themselves, you know, like, that's why we're like, I agree, like, us wanting it to be more raw and it fall back more on our personality instead of bells and whistles is because we are trying to create the environment we want for other people, you know. Like, I have my individual skill set, like this shirt right here. I have my own, or I'm working on my own brand. It's a VPR Aesthetics, and it stands for viability, persistence, and respect. And to me, that is the recipe, what it takes to accomplish anything that you put your mind to. And that's what I would like to contribute, like, to this platform, is helping people who deep down want to achieve something, even the most simplest thing, and giving them a recipe and encouragement to help them achieve that. Because same thing for me, I just want to help people. And you have your individual skill set that you're also still working on, which is
holistic coaching.
Say it like with your chest. Say it like.
I am. No, like, but I'm saying, like, that's how I would say it. Holistic coaching.
Holistic coaching.
It's nutritional coaching, but it's holistic.
Yeah, like natural, right?
Yeah, natural. All natural.
That's her thing. All natural, like food. Like, you're super picky on on like what you
Yes.
consume and the products you use and the clothes you wear, and you know, which is great because it
It
started
takes
off
a
health, right?
lot of time.
It started off like for your health, or is
Yeah,
it
at
is just
first I
health?
was my health. It was my health. And then I started looking into like cosmetics, and then like body care, and then clothing. But it takes time. Like when I started looking it up all at once, it was very overwhelming. And I understand where people, when people are like say, "Oh, I can't do that. It's just too much to think about." It is too much to think about. You have to give yourself time and do it step by step. You can't just throw it all at yourself. So that's what I did. And now I'm like going to school for holistic coaching. So that's my main thing.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Coaching.
Like full time?
Mm-hmm.
Online or in person?
Well, in 5 years, I would hope to do it in person.
Like what? Like how do you envision it? Like, do you have your own office? Or yeah, that'd be cool. Like I see myself having my own gym, having like my own like environment and stuff, and like my brand on the walls, like inviting people. Like I love surrounding myself with real people who they don't have to like you don't have to walk in like being yourself already, but who are active in wanting to improve even like the tiniest bit of themselves. Because like for me that's what life's all about, right? Is health improvement and wait, like trying your best even if it's not like a crazy effort, just being a little better every day. You know what I mean? That's just who I am as a person. Is I love.
I feel like if you're like that, you tend to attract those kind of people, and sometimes you don't. But
no, you're right. Like you tend to attract those kind of people, and then on the other hand, you do tend to like repel or like.
And even if you don't, you influence those people in a good way, and sometimes you get them on the right path, even if it's for a little bit.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That does. But like that all stems from just like trying, like I mean some days like that's the thing is because people think that when someone says that you need to ignore rest and you never need to like there's a balance in everything, right? Like self-care.
I don't think I'll ever agree on that.
On what?
You need to ignore rest.
Oh yeah, you.
Especially coming from me, there is no way.
Yeah.
No. The body needs rest.
And you also have
and if you're not resting for more than, what is it, 7? No. You're resting less than 8 hours.
Like sleep?
Something's wrong.
I feel like people barely get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep.
Wasn't it like that's 8 hours?
Like
that's the most you should be getting.
Max 8 hours? I just feel like sleep is kind of like
anything less isn't
good.
Not.
Sleep is like diet where it's very
it's rest, air, water, exercise, nutrition.
What are you, the Avatar?
Spirituality. Did I say that right? Spirituality,
yeah.
There's another one. Can't think of it right now.
What is that? Like things that you think are important or what?
Things that are important.
Say it again.
Rest, water, air.
Like quality?
Nutrition.
Fire and earth?
Nutrition, exercise, spirituality, and there's another one I can't remember. But they all come together.
Like exercise?
Yeah.
Like body? Or like
exercise.
Like
exercise, like.
But like and just like moving every day.
I don't understand where you're trying to get at.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's you're using it like a broad point, right? Like exercise.
Well, yeah, it's very well.
You see what I mean?
No.
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 Okay, let's move on then.
Exercise, like.
Do you exercise?
Yeah.
Every day?
Not every day, but.
How many days a week?
Okay, why is this on me?
Because you're not asking me questions. Ask me questions. We need to talk. We need to give these people something to watch.
I'm not very consistent right now with exercise, but
See,
I have
that's
been.
something I'm sure a lot of people can relate to, right, guys? They're not consistent with their exercising. And that, like you said, if that's a stem, like think of a tree, if those are the branches, it's pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure a lot of people are struggling with their consistency and not just exercising, but in multiple like aspects of their life. So we can't talk about other people. We can only talk about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So in your case, what is stopping you from being consistent in that field, right? Like in a way that can help other people. And
there's a word for it. Disciplined. Being disciplined.
Okay.
That's always been my biggest thing, is being disciplined and stubborn, because I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I think we all know what we're supposed to be doing. The stubbornness kind of, I mean, at least for myself, it stops me.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, like I am like, my head will tell me, "Oh, just go to the gym, or just do this," or not even my head, my body. Like your body will tell you when you need to be moving, and I'm like,
you ignore those
but
cues?
I'm gonna do this. So, and then obviously symptoms will start appearing where I'm like losing my breath, and I'm not even overweight. That's the bad part. I'll like lose my breath by just like walking a certain distance, or even just sitting down for too long. I start losing my breath, and that's when I know. That's when
not even moving.
That's
like next level.
Sitting is like
it's really bad
the
for
new
you.
smoking.
The new smoking, sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know it's
or
horrible.
not maybe that the new smoking, but it's like smoking.
It's horrible for your body.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be sitting more than like, I think, how long is it? More than 3 hours a day, or something like that. 4 hours.
Some people sit all day because they have to, like work and stuff.
I know, which isn't good. It's not good to sit that long.
You see those offices that have those like medicine ball, like those like workout balls that they sit on instead of chairs at the office. Never seen that?
And they bounce on them?
Yeah. Never seen that?
What?
Yeah.
No.
I've seen that before. It's supposed to be cool. Like, so that way you're not just always sitting. You're kind of like moving
around.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because like for my I see that point, because when I'm training people, I notice that their hips, like their glute and hips area, are pretty like weak. Like they really need to.
And that's the number one spot we should all be working on, because that's what carries
the core. Like I'm here like kind of like I catch myself like slouching or whatever. But
like my legs shouldn't even be crossed right now, because it's not good for the spine.
It like imbalances it.
Because you're like kind of one way, you're leaning one way.
Yeah.
Especially with people with scoliosis, it's not good. And I have scoliosis.
Really?
I could feel it when I have my legs crossed for too long.
What is that, like your tailbone or something?
Well, I think so. It's down there.
I mean, I don't know. People.
I lost my train of thought. Thank you very much.
Yeah, people have always. I'm
just kidding.
Like, again, I don't want to be forced to talk about. There's not much to talk about if we don't have anything written down for the topic.
Well, no, especially because we don't have any topic.
Yeah, well, the topic is ourselves right now, because it's like more of an introduction, So I feel like
later on we'll have a topic.
Yeah,
it'll be more concise and like just
like a point.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Right now it's a little bit all over the place, but that's exactly how I wanted it. I just wanted it raw. Like we're not gonna edit this.
Like we're complete opposites in our personalities. I'm more I'm direct. Like I need to know what we're talking about. I need to have a point. But at the same time, I can flow with something. I can go with the flow. she's just like go with the flow, in timing, in thought. Like I'm a structured person, and there was a time in my life where I would freak out when I would come out of the structure, like when COVID happened in quarantine. I had a crazy structure. Like I was thinking about competing in like men's physique and stuff. I was like on my macros. I was working out on my supplement stack and everything. And then COVID happened, and then I had to put a stop to my whole entire routine. And that time like hit me big, like mentally, because it taught me how to be flexible with life in general. Because like life itself, like think about nature. Like we can't determine the way a tree grows. It's gonna grow the way it grows, and that's nature. We as people are the things that go into nature and turn that tree into a house and stuff. We create structure out of the unstructured. And that's what I learned in my life, is learning how to go with the flow better. Even though I thought I was good at going with the flow, I really wasn't, because when it really came to it, I freaked out and I got super depressed. And
It's
like,
not funny. I'm sorry.
no, it's not funny. But why were you laughing?
Because I was thinking about
that was a horrible time in my life, Sam.
I was thinking
laugh, Sammy.
I was thinking more of myself, because I'm just more like,
yeah. It's like, you ever seen that meme where the guy's like, he's talking about his past, and he's like, "Don't laugh at me, guys," and they're like, "You're not gonna laugh. We're not gonna laugh." He's like, "Back then," and they all start laughing. That's what you just did right now.
Yeah, I'm just.
That makes it funnier, to be honest.
Whatever happens, happens. Like, why am I going to worry about it? Why am I
That's her whole. Like, I'm gonna worry about it because I don't know. I guess I'm masculine. I'm a male. Like, I need to be the leader. If I don't know, I have to look forward, because
but there are people, even females, that are like that, where they're worried. They worry about it. I had to look at
that was
Mom.
such an office
I had to look at Mom.
moment.
No, but where they worry more about stuff.
Like they freak out.
Yeah. So I don't think it's necessarily masculine or a male thing.
Well, like that's the thing is
most of us.
I freak out for it, not because I'm afraid or not because I'm fearful or I'm thinking of the worst. It's because as a male, like for example, like when you provide, you need to know how you're gonna provide, right? Like there's guys who are gonna like, I don't know, I'm gonna find a way, and then there's guys that like, you have this job and you haven't figured out how you're gonna provide, and so it gives you a sense of security.
I still don't agree,
because you have the ability to be free flowing, because
but why can't you be like that?
Because you're relying, like, I don't, like, how do I say this in the nicest way? You rely on structure from a male, like from like an outside source. If you were the male, you wouldn't be so like, I'm gonna free flow.
I still don't agree with
you. You would need to be like, bro, I need to get these 40 hours in a week, and I need to XYZ because I got this payment here and this and that.
I still don't agree with you, because you could.
You don't have to agree with me. It's not about being right or wrong.
I know, but I'm saying, like, you could still think that way yourself. With no worries. Like, why are you going to worry about something you can't change?
Yeah,
that's my point.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I'm telling you, like, my point was, I needed to get from that point to how I am now, which is a different person. If you didn't laugh at me, you would have heard my story about how I'm kidding, how I got to from that point of freaking out when things weren't structured to how I am now, which is like, now my mindset is much more, I have faith in God, right? I have faith in that what I'm given today is everything that I need, and there is no lack mindset or survival instinct. Because if I was given, like, for example, like we want, everyone kind of in a sense metaphorically wants to bake a cake, but then when God gives us the ingredients, we freak out or whatever, or we make like cookies out of it, and then we're like, why don't we have cake? But we have the ingredients, we have to put them together and make it. So that's how I view my life every day now. It's like, let's say I want a campfire, God gives me 5 sticks, what am I going to do with it, right? So it's not the lack mindset, it's more so like, what am I going to do with what I'm doing today? I
understand what you mean now.
Yeah.
That's why we need to just sit back and listen before we interrupt.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, no, you're right. Like, and that's why. What do they say again? It's pretty generic, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Where
Okay,
we listen to comprehend, not to reply, right? Because then it's just dialogue, and we're trying to shout over each other instead of communicating equally.
But to be fair, I wasn't trying to interrupt you. I was just laughing at a thought that I was having about myself.
No,
so,
I grabbed that like to make something out of it, but I know like
but
your mind wanders and you have like an intrusive thought that you laughed at, and it had nothing to do with like my story. But that's again that thing too is a lot of people get like hurt their own feelings because I could have let that hurt my feelings if I was like really sensitive about it, but like I'm understanding, right?
Yeah.
So it shows that people kind of to a sense need to be people don't need to do anything that they don't want to do. But in a way, if we wanted more like peace, like for example, understanding makes that so much easier, right? So that's what it is. Like if I didn't invite that understanding to this conversation, I would have allowed myself to get upset because I would have assumed you laughed at me because I was saying something horrible, like a horrible story. Like here's a story about my dog died, and then you laugh. I could have got my feeling. You know what I mean? Like, but the whole time you could have been like thinking of I don't know, Looney Tunes or something. Like we can't be quick to jump on things or like it makes less drama. And I don't know about you, but I'm at a point in my life where drama is exhausting.
It's very exhausting. Exhausting energy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was like that too, where I was a chismosa, and it was like it's entertaining. I think that's what gets us
what's a
caught up.
chismosa for people that don't know what a chismosa is?
Someone that likes to hear drama or likes to talk about it.
Like gossiping.
Gossiping.
Yeah.
And that's the number one thing that we shouldn't really be doing is gossiping. I mean,
we're human,
Not just that, but
that's not an excuse, but it's like people are gonna talk, like if people have nothing to talk about, they're gonna talk about each other.
How I think of it now is that if someone isn't asking me for information, then I'm just not gonna say it.
But even what about someone who wants to, like, those people who are up to no good and they're asking you because they want to talk about you? You ever came across those people?
What do you mean?
Yeah, like
they're up to no good, so they're asking me how I'm doing.
Yeah, to talk about you. Like I didn't know.
I can see like if they're envying me or something, they want to like.
Or for whatever reason,
Yeah, I mean, I feel for the most part, if you're really in tune with what's going on, you can grasp onto that and be like, no, I'm not going to tell you my business because I know how you are.
Yeah.
So I feel like it depends, but you really have to, I guess, notice what you're like. Who's
keep knowing what to keep in your circle, like information.
Yeah, but it's hard sometimes because people are tricky. That's why you really have to be patient with people and not just think that they're
like with the best intentions.
Yeah, right away, because it's very what's that word? Deceiving. So you really have to take your time with people.
That's true. Like making assumptions, right? Like have you read the 4 Agreements, right?
Yes.
Isn't there something about like making assumptions in the 4 Agreements?
Yeah, you shouldn't make assumptions.
Like never make assumptions because you're just assuming that. And I used to make positive assumptions. Like I didn't know people were tricky like that. Like I would be open to tell people like things about like my life. Like I had to learn what OHO was, what like negativity. I didn't know anything about that. Now I'm so quick to talk about my plans and my progress with people, not knowing that people weren't like rooting for me and were sending me like negative energy. And there's people that don't. So we're gonna talk a lot about energy and intentionality and things like that. We're kind of our I guess like spiritual people. We see things I guess that like go over like certain people's heads,
Telling them all my secrets.
Well, it's not a secret. It's more so like because again,
those are my secrets.
when we're talking to like not just our group of people, like you have to change your scope. When you're talking to a mass of people, there's people who are who don't know anything about spirituality, right? Like so.
I guess that is true because there's. I mean, see, no, I think it depends. If some people are open to it, some people aren't open to it. Some people are just like, I see this, and they just go about their day. I think that's how I was in high school until it started really happening more. And then I started tuning into it and being more open. I'm like, oh my gosh, that happened. I remember when this happened. So, like, I mean, I guess it's okay.
But you had to, like, you allowed yourself to...
For them to know my secrets.
To them? Why is it a secret?
I don't know, because, I mean, I guess if it's raw and people want to get to know me, I guess they'll have to...
Because my belief, my opinion is all people are inherently spiritual. Like, it's not just, oh, these are spiritual people. Like, we as human beings are spiritual beings. That's why we connect with nature. That's why we connect with things, is because there's a cord between us, not just because we're family, but because we're human beings, that is invisible, that some people can see and some people can't.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's translating information, like, that the people that can see that to the people who can't. Because the people who can't, I mean, it could be a variety of reasons why they're not spiritual. Like, a lot of it is because they're cut off from it. But I believe that to the core, all people are spiritual. And it's like, it's two sides of a coin, like science and spirituality. Because science explains, like, in math and in terms, spirituality, and spirituality explains, like, the thinking aspect of it, you know, like the feeling aspect of it. But science is more numbers and you know, tallies and stuff, and spirituality is more like, I feel you, you know. Like, science can explain that there's an electromagnetic field that goes around us, which is science, is true, and spirituality is the fact that we are all living energy, and we can, you know, like, transmute energy, and we can sense energy and read energy into language and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's not so much a secret as more of it's like hidden knowledge.
I think the reason why I say secret is because I never really talked about that stuff before with anyone.
Really?
Because no, it's just people that are closer to me.
Yeah.
Well, especially there's some people that I've talked to about.
Can you do me a favor? Can you plug that charger? So I'll do. Hold on. Keep talking. I'll do it. Keep talking. I don't know if you're gonna find it.
Oh, that's my train of thought. Oh no, there were people that I've talked to that were close to me about it, and if you're not open to it, you're not gonna understand. Kept it to myself because I just felt shut off about it, and it's not like I'm psychic or anything, or
no,
it's just.
But you know, wait. Let me cut you off.
Very spiritual.
You know how, like for example, dogs, animals are spiritual beings.
Yes.
You know how, like, a dog can sense a good person and a bad person, and then there's people out there who are like, I don't trust you if dogs don't like you, because you fool everybody else, but you can't fool animals. You know, like, an animal does not want to go near you; it growls at you. It's because they sense your energy, and because they're from nature. Like, the animals can't think and like, they go off of instincts, and we have that same, not dog instinct, but we have that same nature instinct, where when you tune into it, you can feel someone's energy, and you can be like, you don't gotta tell me you're a liar, because I can sense I can feel you're a liar, or I can feel you're an aggressive, dangerous person.
My feelings are very strong.
Same,
like, I feel very strongly. So it's not like I have superpowers or anything. It's not those type of secrets. It's just being open about it. So,
and
the
for me,
unbearable truth.
See, and what's uncomfortable for her, and it's gonna be likewise. She's gonna introduce some conversations that are very uncomfortable to me, but how I explain that I've been making, like, some of my own content and some of my own talking on my own pages. I talk a lot about spirituality and the energy, and I have conversations with people who also are spiritual, and, you know, a lot of it is just not being afraid. You know? Yeah, go ahead.
Close up to the camera. No.
A lot of that is just not being afraid of judgment, afraid of whatever, you know, like we can go on, list can go on and on of fears, you know. Like I was talking to this one, I made a friend, and she was also a person that was able to talk about a lot, and I asked her why she never went out like to talk about it. I feel like if we as people have a lot to talk about, it's for a reason. It's because there's people out there that we can shed insight on. Like we never have skills or
we shouldn't ever
knowledge.
keep our skills or knowledge inside.
Exactly.
It's not going to benefit us.
Yeah.
We have to share those things with people, especially if we can understand them or if we've been through certain things. Then it's easier for us to share that. And we should.
Yeah.
We should, because then the other person won't feel as alone.
So with that being said, would you talk more about like spirituality if it came up? Like instead of leaving it to like when it comes up in conversation, would you be open to talking about like how you feel things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd be comfortable with it.
Because that has a lot to play into
because there's
health,
a lot
right?
of other people that are like that too. And they'll understand. Some people, I mean, I get it. Some people won't understand, like, whatever. And some people be like more drawn to it, which is normal. But yeah, I'll feel comfortable talking about it. I have a lot of stories that have happened.
Like spiritual stories?
That I've gone through, yeah, with my dreams or...
Oh, yeah. I forgot you're a dreamer. Like,
and it's like real. It's not just me going through it. Like they see, like, you know, people around me have been through it.
Yeah.
When it's happening. I mean, you remember?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about stories right now.
No, like that gives us more things to talk about, but that's true. Like I forgot about that. Like
that'll be another topic for us to get into.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of other people that are like that too.
And don't know how to apply those dreams to like their lives, you know? Because I feel like that's...
either that or they shut it off because they don't know how to
go about it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good. Like, for example, like you talking about it, someone can watch this and be like, oh, you know, like I had a dream about...
that makes sense. Like,
you know, like there's people, for example, like life is it's about progressing, right? Some people need to let who they are die so that who they can be born. And then they'll have a dream of like a phoenix or something, right? Where like they see themselves dying and being reborn. And so I feel like something is talking to them in their dream.
It's a little dramatic, but
no, but your dreams are that dramatic though. The dreams you tell me are dramatic. You'd be like, I went upstairs and I saw like a baby rhino and then I took it downstairs and
it wasn't a rhino.
But you know what? It wasn't a different animal, but you see what I mean?
It was a panther.
It was a baby panther.
It was it was a big panther.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. You got a point.
So they're like dreams are they're bizarre, they're weird, you know, and people are just think, wow, that was trippy, but are so quick to down talk people who try to find meaning in the dreams, you know, and especially when your dreams apply to other people's lives and they have truth in them. It's like it's something you can't really like brush away because it literally can help other people, right?
Yes.
And I can only imagine if you had a dream about someone, like you talked about the girl and her baby or something before we started the podcast. Imagine if that was someone in your life and you had that dream and you had to relay that. I hope not either, but you know what I'm saying? Like that would be uncomfortable for you, would it not? Because you'd probably think this person's not going to believe me. This person is, you know, was whatever. So, I mean, it's I don't know. What do you think? Like, for me, like life is all about how we can help each other. Like,
I agree.
Outside of that, when a person bases their life like around personal gain, there's only so much you can gain before you then realize that there is no point. Like, how many supercars can you have? How many mansions can you own? How many handbags or different color shoe combinations, or like how many things can you have before you realize like, dang, this is like empty, you know? And then you go out and then someone's like, excuse me, sir, can I get $5 so I can eat? And you give them $5 and you feel like you're on top of the world, right? It's just like those experiences are different. And some people don't care enough about those experiences to let themselves have them, so they can see that the value of things is nothing really, right? That's just my take on it. Yeah. Because I mean, I thought I was the same way. Like I needed certain shoes or I needed like a certain brand, especially in high school.
Too, yeah.
Like I didn't care about brands. I just knew like fitted Hollister muscle polos were in, so that's all I wore.
I was more like about brands before. Sadly, I didn't want to shop at TJ Maxx or Marshalls or anything like that. I'd go in and be like, why am I here?
Yeah.
That's sad. Like, why does it matter?
Yeah. Like as long as you have clothes kind of, or like
whatever you can afford. Some people can't afford those name brand items, in which honestly, why were we even buying the name brand items? They're only expensive because of the name.
Yeah.
Most of it. Like, unless it's actual good quality, then I understand why it's so expensive. But other than that, most likely because of the name. So
that's crazy, because when I really started going in like into checking out like the material so I can make like my own clothes, I started to find suppliers that supplied the clothes to like Zara and like XYZ. I can't think of any like big names like Nike and Gucci and stuff. Like the sweaters and the garments that they had, they were getting them from these suppliers and then putting their logos or putting like embroidering their stuff on it and then slapping
that's crazy.
the expensive price tag. So like when you really get into it, they advertise that like, look, this is side by side comparison of what you would pay for here and then the sweater without anything on it. Like this, like you can get this without that on it. You would spend what, like $100 for this Alaska sweater, and you can get this for like. And this is like my point though, right? You can get this for like from a guy in a warehouse for like $15, but you buy it for $125 because it says Alaska. You know, it's marketing. It's all marketing,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like colors. Some colors are more expensive than other colors.
Really? Yeah. I don't know that. Well, I mean, like black and white is basic, right? But I didn't know. Well, I mean, yeah, that's pretty slow though, because it's like when you're printing paper, right? You have to like you use color
printing
ink.
Paper. When you're printing paper.
Why are you making me doubt myself? Did that sound bad when you're printing something?
Because I don't know what you mean by that.
When you're, I don't know, dude. I don't know how else to say it. When you're printing something, and the ink is black, and then you use color. You see what I mean?
No, that's not the same.
I don't know.
It just depends. They're just like patterns. There could be patterns that I don't know, whatever they do with the clothing. There's certain patterns that are more expensive than others. Or the colors. Like, let's say they have orange, red, pink, purple on sale, but they have the nudes. I guess whatever is in style, maybe, whatever's trending. I don't know. But they'll have like the nudes, let's say the nudes.
I'm colorblind. I care very little about colors.
For like $30, and then the other colors are on sale. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I get the idea of what you're saying.
So I don't know where you got printing paper from, but
no, okay, I guess can we move on from that? I meant like when you're printing a document, right? Because when I was little, I used to print cheat codes, like for like GTA, and sometimes I would have to use more ink because it had advertisings and stuff on top or whatever. So that was my example or where I got it from. I don't know. Move on. Let's move on from that.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know. What is something that you want to share that's uncomfortable before the time is up? Like a truth. Then I'll share mine. Because you were really bad at asking me questions, and I'm running out of questions to ask you.
I was just listening to you. I mean, it's gonna be that way where I'm talking
my
more.
back. My back.
Where I'm talking more. Okay, whatever.
No, I'm kidding. I'm messing with you.
And then I'm asking you more questions. It's gonna be like that.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm just messing with you.
It just so happened this way.
Yeah. So happened.
Let me ask you that question.
Ask me.
What's one unbearable truth that you have?
An unbearable truth that I have.
Like today, right now, like whatever pops in your mind, go.
An unbearable truth that I have is, like, for example, I'm a personal trainer, so I deal with people on a normal basis where I have to introduce them to unbearable or uncomfortable truths so that they can grow. And that is the truth. Accepting the truth is hands in hands with accountability or personal accountability. If you cannot take accountability for nothing outside of you but yourself, your actions, your thoughts, you cannot grow. Because if you can't take accountability for your life, then who can take accountability for it, right? And what most people do is they'll get in relationships and then pass that accountability to their partner. So now their partner has to take accountability for that person.
Their actions.
Exactly. Someone needs to carry the accountability. That's like in my opinion, that's like a universal like law or truth. It doesn't just disappear. Poof, it's gone now. No, someone has to deal with it eventually. And the more we as people run from our truths, that is when they literally become unbearable. Because it's like a snowball. It builds and it builds and it builds. You let 20 years go by, and then you have to deal with 20 years worth of damage that you applied to yourself because you couldn't make an adjustment 20 years earlier that would have improved your whole entire life. You know, that is mine. Like, I'm all about self-improvement. My whole thing is about improvement.
So that's your unbearable truth, or that's other people's unbearable truth?
It is a unbearable truth. It's everyone's unbearable truth. It's not mine.
You,
it's mine. It's everybody's. It's mine. It's everybody. Because
accountability is yours.
No, mine is handing accountability. You know, or like helping people accept accountability. See what I mean? Like, because
so that's uncomfortable for you.
Yeah,
to do that
because it's uncomfortable for me. So if you, again, don't be so quick to like.
Well, that's what I'm trying to understand.
No, I know. But like, what's uncomfortable for me is what comes with that territory is rejection.
Okay.
You face rejection because people reject me because they don't want to deal with themselves when it's my job to help them deal with themselves.
Because they get uncomfortable.
So they get uncomfortable. So therefore, it makes me uncomfortable because I can feel the push away. And as a human being, no matter who you are, no matter how strong, no matter how tough you are, no one wants isolation. No one wants rejection. And so for me as a human being, some of the stem of my strength comes from the fact that I had to deal with that rejection, because one of my purpose in life, along with my skill set, is to offer that to people on a silver platter. It makes it easier. It makes it, like it's like anything, like a cook. You can cook your own food, or you can go to a restaurant and have someone cook it for you, right? Nothing's stopping you from making your own meal, right? Same thing with a personal trainer. Nothing is stopping you from going to the gym, consistently pushing yourself and getting in shape. But the fact is sometimes it's harder than people give you credit for, And that's just the thing for me, is I can get passionate about it. I can talk about it all day because I love what I do, and I would never take anything else. I take the rejection along with what I do because it goes hand in hand with the lay of the land. It goes with my job, and eventually
it takes a lot of patience.
Yes. And eventually when you get there, like trust me, I've been there. It's harder to get people to talk about their diets than it is to get them to work out. Because working out is fun. You can get someone to sweat and be like, "Ooh, that was a great time." But when it comes to diet, people don't want to give up their snacks because it's emotional,
Yeah, it'll only help when the person actually wants to change and is desperate. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. If you're desperate to want to change,
you're gonna find a way.
You're gonna find a way, and that's where I am here to help. But that's just unfortunate. you don't want to change, you're not going to do anything about it, which is okay. That it just whatever you want to do, but obviously there's going to be consequences and things that happen along the way with your health. So just depends on the choices that you make.
What is your uncomfortable truth? And I'm going to let you finish before
unbearable truth.
Your unbearable truth. All right. Before we continue, we're going to keep messing up probably because the original name of the podcast was The Uncomfortable Truth. Huh? What you said?
Continue.
Oh. The original name of the podcast was The Uncomfortable Truth, but there's already a podcast called The Uncomfortable Truth. So we changed it to The Unbearable Truth like an hour ago. So I'm delivering it as The Unbearable Truth. So that's why. So what is your unbearable truth?
Vulnerability.
Oh. That's
feeling
big.
Vulnerable. That's my unbearable truth.
Why?
Because it makes me feel my emotions. And sometimes I don't like to feel them because let's say for love, like I love you. So
I love you too, sister.
Thank you for making me laugh so I don't cry. Yeah. No, I like for people that I love, for people that I have strong emotions for. When I feel some type of way, it's like I shut it off. Not about to feel that much emotion because it makes me want to cry sometimes or really feel that fire. And sometimes I just don't like it. Or like if I'm upset, like for one example, I don't know why, but if I'm upset and someone's trying to like hug me or like trying to make me more happy or whatever, I like try to push them away because they're starting to make me feel vulnerable towards them because I'm like, oh, they're actually, being nice to me and trying to like make me happy or trying to do all these sweet things that it makes me want to cut that off because it's like, no, because then I start to feel more emotion. Like I start to feel those true emotions like for that person. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So is it like you think it stems from a fear of getting hurt? Like,
no, because I've been hurt multiple times and I continue to be myself.
So what do you think
continue
that comes from?
To love and be me. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know where that stems from, to be honest.
Is it something that you'd be willing to dig into and figure out? Because I imagine, I mean, who knows? Let's say you have kids, right? You can't be that way when you have kids because
I've been working on it a lot more.
Yeah.
Especially, I think
that's a lot like how mom was.
I think it also stems from stubbornness. It has to stem from somewhere else.
We contribute to the patterns of our parents. I'm gonna say that again. Clip this. We contribute to the patterns of our parents until we break them. And I know because we're siblings that is a lot how mom was, where she would shut off and you had to comply with it. It doesn't matter like what we wanted in that moment. We had to wait, and that's a lot like how you are like when you shut down, where like you're like for example, like when I was trying to ask you questions about the podcast before we started and you're like, wait, I haven't eaten yet, So it's like I waited because I'm patient. But
I think that's a little different though, because mine is actually feeling my emotions. I just don't like to feel them.
Well, that's why. Wait. Because you didn't want to feel. You don't want to feel your hunger. Because those are emotions. Fatigue is an emotion. Hunger is an emotion.
But I don't feel the same way.
No, it's not as intense, but it's an emotion, right?
But in my head, I don't feel the same way though.
Okay, so
like the same thoughts and the same emotions don't.
Like it's wired different.
Yeah.
Okay, so explain.
Like I actually feel it. That's why I was trying to say I think stubbornness might be, the culprit as well, because why can't I just let it be? Why can't I just let them, be nice or like do something for me?
Yeah.
And sometimes like if I'm in my mood, like for instance with do I want to say this example? Okay, whatever. For the instance with my boyfriend, I was upset and pushing away. That's what I do. I push away.
Yeah.
And especially when they're being, like I said, when they're being nice, I'm like, oh no. So in my head, I remember I was kind of isolating myself, and my head was telling me, go give him a hug. just go give him a hug. Fine. It's like I fight with myself. I don't know. I'm sure you guys might do that too, but I literally will fight with myself. And I would be like, oh, okay, fine, I'll go do it. And I go do it, and it's like, I feel better. He might feel better. Like, it just
helps the whole
exactly
situation.
It helps the whole situation. So sometimes we just need to like fight with ourselves, and I think that's what it is too, stubbornness.
There's a great band that said, shy away. Manifest your ceiling when you shy away. So when you shy away from your feelings, you're manifesting that ceiling that you can't get. So imagine, like, right here is where you would express how you feel, and you would make it a more comfortable environment for you and your significant other. But you shy away, so you manifest the ceiling, so that outcome is unattainable because you hit that wall now. So that's when you have to fight yourself to not shy away, so you can bypass that and now go to your, because what's the point of a significant other if you can't go to them for emotional stability? Which I'm not saying he isn't a partner that can offer that, but you need to allow the person to, for example, if you need $100 and I can supply that to you, you need to be willing to take it so that it can be useful.
I have a problem with that too.
See?
Not being able to take it.
That's fine, because that's what, if we were born perfect, if we were born with none of these things to work on, it'd be no fun and it'd be no point, right? Like, just to eat, sleep, and work and die. But no, there's progress in between all that, so we can grow, so life can be more enjoyable. Exactly. And that's uncomfortable. It's unbearable, right? It feels unbearable. I feel like unbearable is kind of dramatic, but it's true.
It could be dramatic.
We make it dramatic.
I'm dramatic.
Like, people in general, like, if it's not this circumstance, in general, people make things dramatic, or we stretch out, because of our imaginations, we stretch out things way further, like, for example, like, I'm gonna go back to you, because I just think that blows my mind how, like, you can't talk to me because you're hungry, like, I don't know. She's not the only one. She's not the. I'm sure there's a bunch of girls that are like that.
No, it's not that I can't talk to you
right now. I'm hungry. It's like, you literally could just answer my question. I asked you a yes or no question. Like.
I don't know if you can hear that on camera.
I'm sure you can.
But it's not that.
Now you cutting me off by tapping the mic, bro. I'm mind blown. Okay.
It is not that I did not want to talk to you. You were bothering me
on purpose,
and
because I know you're hungry.
Already crabby. So let's say the truth. I was fine. You were bothering me.
Yes.
I got more crabby, and I told you, if you leave me alone, I won't get crabby. So
Sam,
it's not that I didn't want to talk to you.
You have to understand, I have a quota as your little brother to annoy you. And you don't come around as often anymore, so I'm behind on my work. I gotta get my work done. Like Leah, our little sister, I annoy her all the time. My quota, I'm to the T with that. With you, I have some work to do. I gotta bother you. Like, I know you didn't like that, but that's my job, to annoy you, right? See, I'm doing my job.
I didn't agree. Anyway,
of course you're not gonna agree.
We're supposed to end this.
Who said?
From our last. You talked about your unbearable truth, and I talked about mine.
Oh. I didn't want to cut you off and be like, "You're done now." Okay, we're done. Like.
I think that's enough for today.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
They heard enough. They're gonna hear more later.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Those who watch through. New viewers, new listeners, people who have put up with us up until this point and further on. Thank you. We appreciate you. Obviously, we're going to get much better. Everything in the beginning is shaky, is weird. Everyone is a rookie.
It's raw.
Very, very much so.
So if it's a little like awkward or like
that's authentic. Whatever, it wouldn't be if it wasn't. And we're not going to edit anything out because
sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, literally. So, thank you guys.
Yes, thank you.
And until next time.